Hello friends, in the last video we saw what is virtualware, what is a virtual machine, what are the different types of virtual machines available in the market with different manufactured or different vendors available for providing virtualware software. But in this video we'll be installing only one virtual machine, that's Virtualbox, provided by Oracle. So this is called Virtualbox. I have downloaded it and kept it on a desktop. So I'll double click the installation package. It says welcome to Oracle VM Virtualbox 3.2.12 setup wizard. We'll say next, and I'll accept the agreement. You need to read the agreement completely and say yes. So this is an open source or the free software actually. You can download it and install. So I say next and install all the related softwares, USB support, networking support, Python support, everything, and say next. I don't want a desktop icon and a quick launch icon. Okay, I'll let a desktop icon be there. I'll say next and I'll say yes. So it start installing. When we say install, during that time it will give you whatever the warning it gave here. You can see here it gives a warning that all the network interfaces will be gone. Okay, it will be down for some time. Don't worry about this. If you have an internet connection, it will be down for temporarily. It will disconnect you from the internet. So I'll say yes and I'll say install. So it will install the Virtualbox software in the computer. So you can install it on Windows XP, Vista, Windows 7. You can also download a Linux version of virtualware and install on Linux, and then try Windows XP on the virtualware. It asked me for a software installation which does not pass the Windows logo testing. Still say continue because I want to try this software. So it's asking for a network, driver ports. We'll say continue anyway for all the options. It takes a few minutes to install. Now it says the Oracle Virtualbox installation is complete. Start the Virtualbox VM, Oracle VM Virtualbox after installation. Yeah, we say yes. We check this option and say finish. So this is the user interface of Oracle VM Virtualbox. You can see this symbol says that you can have a Linux, a Windows machine, everything in single virtual box. So this is like a tool to create virtual machines. So you can say new, you can click on new and create a new virtual machine. It's like creating a new PC. You are building a new PC. Actually, it's a virtual PC. You say next. So which type of OS we want to give a VM name. I would like to have Ubuntu operating system in this. So I can give Ubuntu. It automatically selects Ubuntu here. Even if you give the name Ubuntu and you can try a different out, you have Fedora, you can install a lot versions of Linux. You can see Linux 2.2, 2.4, 2.6, 64-bit, Arch Linux, Debian Linux, OpenSUSE, Fedora, Gentoo, Red Hat, Mandriva, Andros, Oracle. So other Linux, you can also install other Linux. If you want to install Solaris, you can. If you want to Microsoft Windows, you can try different versions of Microsoft Windows here. Now, you can also install 98, ME, NT4, Windows 7, Windows 7 64-bit. You can install Linux. You can install Solaris. Solaris also you have different version, Open Solaris and Solaris softwares. You can install BSD operating system, Berkeley's software distribution, FreeBSD, OpenBSD, NetBSD. You can also install IBM OS. They have their IBM OS softwares. You can install them. You also have Mac OS. You can install Mac OS. Again, it depends on whether Intel supported Mac operating system. There is a version of Mac operating system which supports Intel hardware. You can install only those hardware. You cannot install the Apple version of Mac operating system. So if you have any other operating system, you can try installing it on this machine. So we just give Ubuntu and we say we want a Linux version, we want to try Ubuntu here, so we will select Ubuntu. Okay, I'll say next. So this is the name of the machine. I can give it as Mac Virtual PC 1. You can say Mac Virtual PC 1. And next. So once we start creating a virtual machine, it will ask for a base memory, it will ask for a RAM. So it will take the RAM from the actual RAM in the machine. It will not create a virtual RAM, so it will ask some space from the actual RAM. So out of 1500 MB, I have totally 1500 MB of RAM. So it requires at least 512. It recommends 512. You can see the recommended base memory size is 512. You can give more. Okay, we'll give something like 768, and I'll say next. So this is the RAM occupied by, see, already Windows XP is occupying some space of RAM in the computer. Along with that, this virtual machine is also looking for some amount of RAM. So we allocate 768 MB of RAM, and I'll say next. So you can create a new hard disk. If you already have a disk, you can use it. You can select the hard disk here, and currently we don't have hard disk files here. So I'll say create a new hard disk. So it will create a hard disk file. So I'll say create a new hard disk, and I'll say next. So the recommended size, it says 8192 MB. So that would be 8 GB. So I'll say next. So it goes to create. Welcome to create new virtual disk wizard. It goes to new wizard. Say next. So there's two choices. There's one dynamically expanding storage and one fixed size storage. So you can select either of them. If you select dynamically expanding storage, it will create a hard disk of a minimum of 20 KB or 30 KB initially. So once you start installing operating system and all the software, it dynamically expands to up to the 8 GB. If you have selected 8 GB hard disk, it will expand up to 8 GB. It will not initially. It will not take the complete 8 GB from your computer. If you say fixed size storage, it will completely take 8 GB right when you create the hard disk. So what we'll do, we'll do dynamically expanding storage, so that it will take only probably 20 KB or 30 KB of file initially. And once we start installing operating system in the virtual machine, the disk size increases dynamically till the maximum amount mentioned. Say next. You can see the maximum amount we say here 8 GB. You can give more if you want. I'll give 8 GB. 8 GB is enough for a Linux installation. So I'll say next, and I'll say finish. So once the hard disk, creating new hard disk wizard is complete, it also says option to complete the virtual machine of wizard. I'll say finish again. So now the machine is ready. So you have created a new PC for yourself. So this is a virtual PC. It's like a real computer, but not actually real. So it's a virtual computer emulated inside your PC using Oracle VM Virtualbox. So it contains a name. It also mentions the OS type, which we've already provided. So it also has a base RAM, a RAM of 768 MB RAM. One processor. You can see it takes the processor information from the actual computer. And boot order, it's a floppy drive, C drive, hard disk. So this is like almost a BIOS screen. It's not actually a BIOS screen, but it's a configuration. So it also gives a boot order, and VTX AMD enabled, nested paging enabled, so paging info also enabled here. And again, video memory size 12 MB, 3D acceleration, video 2D video actually. You can also use these things if you have a good graphics card in your computer. Storage. So we'll talk about this storage in a minute. So we have audio drivers. It takes the Windows audio devices to use audio. If you play any music inside the VirtualBox, it uses the actual sound hardware in the machine, the hardware, real computer. So network, it uses adapter. It's a virtual adapter, so it uses, there are different types of network adapters. We'll see this in a minute. So we also have USB. We can connect USB devices to this computer. We can have a shared folders. You can share the folders between a virtual machine and at the actual machine. So for example, in this virtual machine we are going to install Ubuntu software, Ubuntu operating system. But if you want to share any files between the Ubuntu operating system and the XP operating system on which you have installed VirtualBox, you can share this using shared folders. So how to create that? If you can click here, so when this machine is powered off, you can use these options. So you can add a folder to share. So folder path, you can select. I'll select my computer, shared folders, shared documents. Inside shared documents, I'll create a new folder. I'll say just share. I'll say okay. So this will be, you can make it read only. You can make read only, so that from the Ubuntu you cannot add any files to this folder. I'll say I'll uncheck this option so that I want to send files from Ubuntu to XP and XP to Ubuntu. I'll say okay. So now there's a shared folder. So how to access this? You can see at the bottom here it says use xvbox to access shared folder from a DOS like operating system. So if you have a window, you have to use this server path x://vbox server share to access the share folder from the Windows XP. You can use a mount -t vbox sf share mount to access from the Linux server, but this requires a guest addition. So whatever the guest addition software, we'll see in a minute what exactly is the guest addition software. Once you install that, then you'll be able to access any folder from the Windows XP. So currently we have installed VirtualBox on Windows XP. So any folders from Windows XP can be accessed within the guest operating system, whatever operating system you install inside the VirtualBox. I will say okay here. So one shared folder has been created, and we'll go to storage. Storage is very important. You can see here the hard disk is Mac virtual PC.vda. How to go to this place? You can go to C drive, my computer, C drive, documents and settings. So Mac is the user right now. So it will be create a folder .virtualbox here. You can see it will create a hard disk here. So this is the Mac virtual PC. You can see the size of this file is 33 KB. So the hard disk file size is 33 KB. Once we start installing operating system on the Mac, this computer here, on the Mac virtual PC 1, it starts increasing the size of this files. This is the hard disk for the virtual computer. It's a virtual hard disk. You can see the extension VDI. It's a VDI file. Actually, this is the hard disk for that virtual computer. Again, machines. What are the list of machines? Mac virtual PC. If you have one more, you'll have one more folder here. So this is some configuration files for the VirtualBox. Don't worry about all these things. So again, here there is CD drive. There's currently CD drive center. You can add ISO images to it, or you can add the actual CD drive in your computer. You can add host F drives. You can see in my computer, if I go, I have a CD drive, that is F drive. You can give this directly, this drive as a CD drive for this computer also. But what I'll do, I'll add some ISO images. I don't want the actual CDs. I'll add some images, ISO images. So I'll take this Fedora CD. You can see they have a Fedora CD ISO image here. So I've downloaded from the internet a Fedora 14 ISO image. I'll say OK. So we'll install Fedora here and select to general. You can see it's given Ubuntu, we'll select it Fedora. It's no problem even if you have written Ubuntu here, but still it's good to use Fedora. Select Fedora here. So you can go to general and change the type to Fedora. So I have inserted a disk here. You can see in the storage we have inserted an ISO image. It's nothing like inserting a CD. It's a ISO file is nothing but an image of a CD. ISO is the standard format. There are many formats for CD, but the ISO is the standard format. So now I have in storage I have one CD drive. If you want to add one more CD drive or any drive, you can say one more add CD device. You can add one more CD device and give one more image to it. But currently I'll say I'll select this and I'll remove. I don't want two CD drives. So these are virtual CD drives, not actual CD drives. These are virtual CD drives. So you can create. So I need one virtual drive and one virtual hard disk. I'll say okay. So this way we can create our storage. And there's something called network. You can make networking between the host computer and the guest computer. Or if you want to use the actual hardware, the host only adapter, you can use bridged adapter. You can use directly use the main computers, the host computers. We call here we call it XP as a host computer and Fedora as a guest computer, because VirtualBox is installed on the XP. So host machine is the XP. So on the host machine, if you have a Ethernet control, the real physical, you can use that. But I'll see NAT, because if I have an internet connection with the host operating system, I can use it in the guest operating system easily with the NATing. So don't worry about NATing. It's a concept called network address translation. So this way we can configure our VirtualBox. So we can start this machine. This machine is ready. Now it's like you have assembled a PC right now. So we start this machine. So it starts booting from floppy and then CD drive. So what we'll do, we'll change this. We'll go to system and say remove the floppy. We don't want floppy. I want CD-ROM to be the first device and hard disk to be the second device for booting. I'll say okay. So now there is only CD-ROM and hard disk. So it starts booting from CD-ROM or DVD-ROM. So actually for CD-ROM, DVD-ROM we have given a ISO image. So it starts booting from Fedora image. I'll say start. So before saying starting, we can create one more machine here. So you can it depends on amount of RAM you have, so that you can start simultaneously all the operating system. If you have more amount of RAM, you can create one more operating system. If you want to create Microsoft Windows install 7 here, you can try installing Windows 7. Mac VPC 2, I'll say this name here. Okay, so it's the second computer I'm creating. I can give a RAM of 512 MB or 768 or any amount of RAM. I say next, create a new virtual hard disk. I'll say next. I'll give dynamically expand storage. Next, I'll give it requires 20 GB recommended, so you can give 20 GB. Next, finish. See, now a new PC, you can switch on either of the PC. You can select this here, storage, go and put the Windows 7 ISO image or a CD here. If you select a drive here, go to storage. If you select your host drive, you can put a Windows 7 CD into your disk DVD drive. If you select an ISO image, you can use an ISO image. Currently I'll say cancel. So you can create more than one machine, and if you want to start all the machines, two machines simultaneously, you should have a very good RAM. If you have allocated 768 here, 768 here, and Windows XP, the host machine is also taking some amount of RAM space. So all these require RAM. So it depends on how much RAM you have in your computer. So when you go to C drive again, you can see a hard disk. If you go to hard disk, there are two hard disks created now. So we created two machines. There are two hard disks right now, and machines, you can see there's one virtual PC here, VPC2. So we created two machines here. So those entries will be here in the XML file. Don't worry about this XML file. So and don't change the XML. Don't try to edit the XML file. If something goes wrong, the virtual machine will not start. So here we'll select the first one and start. Click on start. So this is like the power button of the computer. You can right click here and you can start here, or you can directly click here. So it's a power button of this computer. You can say start, and you get some information about what to do. Auto capture keyboard. So right control is the used for a host coming back to the Windows XP, the mouse control coming back to the host operating system, you have to use the right control key in the keyboard. I'll say OK. So it will be different for different VirtualBox softwares, but Oracle VM uses a right control key. So we have some the virtual machine is optimized in 32-bit color. A lot of graphic information is given. I'll say OK. So it's booting from the ISO image. You can see it's booting from the ISO image. So it's similar to your real PC. There's no much difference in this. It's just a virtual PC and you're using it on a host machine. So this is the best way to try out new operating system. If you want to try out a new operating system, you don't have to do a partition, you don't have to do a dual boot. You just use an ISO image, create a virtual hard disk, virtual computer, install it on it, and start trying the new operating system. You can see the Fedora Live CD is booted now. It's almost completing booting. It's loading the operating system. So it has booted the live CD completely. If you want to install the Fedora on this computer, you can start installing from here. So which we have already shown in another video, how to install a Fedora in this virtual machine. So you can use virtual machine to install Fedora or any other operating system. It's a live CD. You can try using the live CD here. Go to Kickoff application launcher. You can see all the applications available here. You can see you can try out all the operating system. Live CD. So live CD does not require installation. It just requires to be loaded in the RAM and start working with it. But you cannot save any files. It's a live user. You can see it says live user. So once you install on hard disk, you can say if you want to use do any editing here, create any file, you have to copy it to a pen drive. You can copy it to a pen drive and save, but it's not installed right now on the computer. If you do any changes, it will not be saved in the desktop or anywhere. So to switch off this PC, you have to switch off from this computer. You go here, leave, you say shut down. Similar to your normal PC, you say turn off the computer, so the virtual machine switches off. Shutting down, you can see here. So once this is shut down, you can see it's similar to your normal computer. You can see you can add all the storage devices, everything here. So this is a VirtualBox software. You can download and install VMware, Zen. There are a lot of virtualware softwares in the market. So this is one of the virtualization software. Friends, in this video we saw how to install VirtualBox and use it. We'll see more in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching this video.